The fight to stay out of relegation continues this afternoon for the Prince Alfred Old Collegians, who are coming up against a side that is very much on the downslope of a roller coaster season. With Sacred Heart sitting just percentage outside the 5, a win this afternoon is of paramount importance. Welcome to Park 9 for round 15 of the BTR Excavations Adelaide Footy League, proudly presented by Filming Footy. My name's Lewis McKenna. We've got Barnaby on the camera as well. We'll be bringing you all the action of what's a really important fixture. Now, neither of these sides right now shaping as premiership fancies, but there is one side who's still very much in the thick of it, and percentage is very important for both of these sides as well, as we talk about both of their matchups last week. Certainly hoping for higher scores here this afternoon. No rain about, but last Saturday it was raining absolutely everywhere, with Prince Alfred Old Collegians kicking 1 goal 7. Just the lone goal kicker was Craig Pitt. 13 points, defeated by St Peter's Old Collegians. They're 5-9-39. So even though it was low scoring, a 26-point victory is as comprehensive as 26 points gets there. The best players in that one were Sumner, Pitt, Jolly, Kelly and Searles. Now, it must be mentioned for Prince Alfred here this afternoon, their captain coach in Ned McHenry out. He is here, of course, still coaching, but not playing here this afternoon. Not exactly sure what the injury is, but seemed to be something to do with the leg there. Was seen hobbling just a moment ago here at Park 9. And we look at the other end of the ground, Shock. Well, 4-3-27 last week. Just pipped by 1 point by Glenunga. It was a mid-table matchup there, and another heartbreaking loss where every win is becoming valuable. Shock to any fans of the Adelaide Footy League BTR Excavations Div 1, they'd know that they started off the season 6-0, and they've just slid their way down the ladder after being firmly on top. So this becomes really important for them. But in that matchup, it was Gluyas, Moore, Maroney, McRae and McAuliffe all in the best, with Simons, Noble, Fox and McAuliffe kicking a goal apiece. And last time these two teams met, well, it was Shock getting the win in that one as well. 31 points earlier on in the season, 12-12-84 to Prince Alfred Old Collegians, 8-5-53. I mentioned it a moment ago as well. It's of paramount importance to Prince Alfred Old Collegians. They desperately need a win just to stay out of that relegation zone. They're currently in the fight there. Of course, bottom 2 of this league will go down to Div 2 in the 2026 season. And they currently sit just outside that zone, but barring other results around the league today, they may find themselves in there in the final month of footy. As the teams start to break out, Shock out into the middle, and Prince Alfred about to do the same. The weather situation here as well. There's no rain at the moment. Top of 14 degrees around Adelaide, currently 13. And no significant breeze of any kind. Wind only getting up to about 7 kilometres an hour. So reserves just matched up. It was a fiery contest. Prince Alfred and Shock getting the win by 36 points, but it was a huge scuffle after the siren that was watched closely by the umpires for this match. But the A grade soon to get underway. We've got a debutant in this one as well, coming for Prince Alfred. Lachlan Moore, we'll talk about him as he gets the ball, but he's someone that's come up from the E grade at the start of the season, playing in C7s all the way up to the top competition in the Adelaide Footy League. Talk about a fairy tale. His umpire holds it up in the middle. BTR Excavations Adelaide Footy League Div 1 matchup underway between these two sides. Quickly getting the handball out, and Prince Alfred dribbling a ball around. Picked up there by Jolly. Little ball out to Bentley. Couldn't quite get any clean possession. Now fighting underneath and wrapped up in a tackle. So that was Pritchard there underneath. Going to ball it up here around centre wing. Plenty of fans out here. Home game here as Window pumps it around his body. Juggling mark taken as they look to go inside forward 50 for the first time. Long high ball put up to the top of the goal square. That was Carlotto. Comes down close. It's close to goal here. Players scrapping underneath it. You can see there it is a little bit of still a bit of mud about from the rain that we copped in the last couple of weeks. Umpire's going to circle around and ball it back up. Neither ruckman able to get too much of an advantage. Eventually thumped. Quickly picked up in a tackle there. Jolly wrapped up underneath. So once again still here in the forward 50 for the Shockers. A win important for them. Knocked down in the ruck there. Getting a clean possession out of defensive 50. Go Prince Alfred. That's good distance on the ball. chased down behind the contest there, but good solid tackle laid. Didn't have prior opportunity. Handball out the back of the contest. Sanderson goes out wide, and there's a whistle blown after the play. This may be a downfield free kick, and it is. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. There was a bit of afters. So, on the outer side. So McDermott looks to come back into the corridor a little bit. Sends a long ball down, but good mark taken. Falling back was James Bentley. Just chips a little ball to the outer side. Handball over the top, and Prince Alfred looked to get to work. Singleton. Handball over the top. Searles looking to go inside forward 50. Takes a bounce. Marches his way through. Pops it up to the top of the goal square. Over the back. Good body work out the back. Just has to soccer it through. Eventually gets there. Wasn't exactly how they drew it up, but through for the first goal off the boot of Scott Bentley. And knocks a player down afterwards for good measure. Knocking Simons down to the ground, but Scott Bentley through for the first. On the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard, it's one straight to Prince Alfred getting the first goal of this one. 4 goals on the season for Scott Bentley. So a good start here for Prince Alfred. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Beautiful day here in Adelaide, it must be said. So right back in the middle. Gets knocked down. Trying to hack around his body. The ruckman couldn't quite get any clean possession. Out the back of the contest. Well worked there, and good bump there by the co-captain in Beau McRae. Rapana. Handball out. McRae. Extra handball over the top, and Window looks to get to work. Evades around a couple and takes a bounce. Just dribbles a ball just off of his shoelaces. Stays with it. Couldn't quite pick it up, and eventually over the boundary line. Umpire to hurl it back in. So, solid response there out of the midfield by the Shockers, but couldn't quite make the most of it there. Window. It was entertaining work to work his way around. So now trying to rip out the back of the contest. Here go Prince Alfred. Picked up underneath and snap around the body. Good mark taken by Bradley Noble. So just chips a little ball. Just takes off a little bit of the angle, but still a little too far out to score. Another little chipping ball is good. This is in range, so this is going to be Agnew. Bradley Agnew 4 times in the best players in season 2025. Of course, plenty South Australian footy fans would know about his work. Of course, a former Samford player as well. So, on his way in. Has to send this all of about 50 metres. Looks online. Has it got the distance? Got to watch the goal umpire here. Doesn't quite get there. Still in dispute. And eventually walking its way over for a behind. Through for a minor score. And the first score on the board for the Shockers. On the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Mark taken on the outer side by Mitchell Dean as they look to get back to work once again. Popping a long ball up and finding a little bit of space. Able to pump it inside forward 50. Has a player out the back on his own. Trips over his own feet. Good pickup though, under pressure. Snapping around his body and through. James Bentley through for his first goal of the afternoon. One of the leading goal scorers in the competition. And a brilliant kick there. As they're now convert on their second goal of the afternoon. And Bentley, 22 goals on the season. And ripping start here from Prince Alfred. 2 straight 12 to just 1 behind. And ripping work from Bentley. Nearly tripped over there right before he got had to pick it up, but it was a really clean pickup out of full forward. So they now go back into the middle. It must be said that this is really important for the Shockers. And equally important as well for other reasons for Prince Alfred. So this first quarter will tell a tale of how this game's going to go. Intercepted on half-back, and it's stripped away. Wasn't called for holding the ball. Ruckman in Chris Short just moving it through hand to the outer wing. Handball over the top, little bit of a hospital hand pass. They do try and get it off now and called for holding the ball. Good tackling pressure from the Shockers and Moroney. Trundling ball up the wing, just leaves it a little bit short. Did well there, the ruckman in Bentley to, in fact that was short, to move it by hand. Just handballed it into traffic, though, and quickly wrapped up in a tackle. So you can see there, quite a filthy-looking centre square, but it's a little drier than it looks on camera. Hasn't been much rain about this week, so it's had an opportunity just to dry up a little bit, as quickly wrapped up in a tackle there. Underneath was Edward Pedler, one of the late ins for the Shockers. Knocked down in the ruck, neither player able to get too much of an advantage there, and once again going to be wrapped up. Well, a chance to thank our streaming partners as well, of course, Dartfish Filming Footy, Kieran Hayaketsu, of course, the scoreboard today, Classic Clashes. Archie's a player of the game here this afternoon. Will get a pair of Archies as a holding the ball there. Good tackling pressure there from Prince Alfred. Custom by ORTC. High Five e-bikes, of course, the player of the season will win a High Five e-bike for the BTR Excavations Div 1 Adelaide Footy League, as Agnew couldn't quite take the mark, falls to the front. They go inside forward 50 once again, out the back. Bentley lets it go through for a goal. Ripping goal, ripping work once again. Put it down to Scott Bentley. So the Bentley boys, 3 goals between them. James with 1, Scott with 2. And they are off to a hot start here, Prince Alfred. 3 goals on the trot. Going completely unanswered for Sacred Heart. Just the one behind on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. It was brilliant work once again by James Bentley. Did the body work, got himself in a position where he could have taken the mark, but just understood exactly where he was, top of the goal square, and allowed it to dribble its way through. So just the 1 goal last week for Prince Alfred, very different conditions, but they've already tripled that here early in the first 8 minutes. Good mark taken, leading straight up at the footy, just on the pain of 50. So just to send it in, Edward Pedler. Pedler goes long to the top of the goal square, looking for someone to fly over the top. Underneath, trying to soccer it through, couldn't quite get there, and eventually rushed through for a behind. Harrison Francis nearly getting a goal, but just through for a rush. So 2 behinds now on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Not getting too many opportunities here, the Shockers. And intercepted, so well done to sit across the contest there, Simons. A little chipping ball over the top, and they'll get another opportunity at goal through the ruckman. So Kai Lotto, of course, the captain coach, or the coach, I should say. It was captain to coach on that play. So deep in the pocket. Crucial to watch the goal umpire do his work here. Has to start it up right and fade it back in, looking like it's going close, but marked on the goal line. Brilliant work defensively, just to read the play. A little chipping ball over the top is marked by Slade. Just going inside once again and moving it by hand. Now through the corridor, a good ball over the top. They've got the runners, Prince Alfred, going inside forward 50, sending a long ball over the top to Bentley once again. The Bentleys are ripping this game apart early in this one, and it was end-to-end work for Prince Alfred. And they'll have a chance to pop through his second. And they have absolutely ripped this game away early from Sacred Heart. It's an important game for Prince Alfred to try and stay out of the relegation zone. Pain and breathing down their neck. On his way through, putting it through for his second goal, and the 4th for Prince Alfred on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. It's a 22-point advantage early in this one at home. And the fans on the outer side and coach Ned McHenry will be incredibly happy with that. A brilliant start here, just through 10.5 minutes. So you can see just off camera the backman for Shockers, they're having a conversation. They're in all sorts here at the moment. Bentley's just found himself out the back of the contest, but credit to his midfielders for getting it right to him. So back in the middle once again. Important clearance here for the Shockers if they want to get back into this contest. Snapping around the body, couldn't quite get anything onto it because it was smothered underneath and quickly wrapped up in a tackle. So once again, only at about 10 metres or so. Slade gets a handball at the back, and they do dribble a ball inside forward 50. Ball's in dispute. Who's going to get to it? Agnew chasing the ball down, just pumping a little ball outside off hands. Quickly trying to rip his way through a tackle, but set upon by a couple Shockers defenders. Going to ball it up here, about 40 metres out from goal. Over the top, good tap down by Hugo Kelly. Moving it through hands. The Shockers couldn't quite get any clean ball though. They do send a handball at the back of the contest, dribbling a ball out of defensive 50, but they do hand it back to Prince Alfred. They move it through hands, chipping a ball outside, and a good mark taken by Kelly on the paint of 50. Doesn't look overly confident with the distance. Bentley barking at him, wants it long. They go there now. Top of the goal square, has two on him. Agnew punching it towards the boundary line, and eventually over. They are absolutely putting the heat on the goal face here at the moment, Prince Alfred. So right in the pocket. They'll hurl it back in. Brilliant work by the boundary umpire. Knocked down in front. Just trying to corral the ball. Doing well there, Ethan Bald. Eventually getting a handball out. Underneath, maybe caught a little bit high, but no prior opportunity. Umpire will ball it up. 12 minutes gone in this one, just shy of 13 minutes. Tap down the back, no kicking in danger. In fact, it was eventually called, so kicking in danger there deep in defence. Free kick paid to Ben Moroney. Has Agnew on the switch, but it's going to instead go a little further down the line. It's a dangerous kick. Ball's back in dispute once again. Through hands, here go Prince Alfred, popping it up towards goal. Out the back once again is Bentley, but just punched over the line by Maloney. Has his fingerprints all over this one. James Bentley and Scott Bentley with two apiece. So, same spot again. They'll hurl it back in. Gets knocked down this time by the Shockers, but not really to any advantage. Out the back here goes Hildyard, a little handball over the top, and the Shockers do get some clean possession. Maloney handballs it off. Couldn't quite get any clean purchase on it there, McRae, as it got smothered and through the hands of McRae eventually over the boundary line. So living here in the forward 50 for Prince Alfred. So hurl back in here, just about on the paint of 50. Good knockdown there from Hugo Kelly. Little dribbling ball inside forward 50, out the back. Good take there in the end by the Shockers in Nicholas Jordan, and a free kick's been paid to him. Good positioning. Has a few short options, but really don't look like they're set up too well here, the Shockers, but they go a little wider. Agnew, a little bit of space. Doesn't look corridor at all, so just wants to pop a long ball out towards the boundary. Over the back, nearly taking the mark. Nothing paid. Climbing over the back there was Kakuro, but go hurled back in instead. So centre wing. Leaves it a little short, the boundary umpire, but they call it a 0-0 draw. Jolly finds a little bit of space out the back and just pumps a long high ball up. Knocked down in front, and ball's back in dispute. Leading the race to the ball there. Couldn't quite get in. It was McGowan. Underneath the contest here. Ball's still live. Out the back was Rapana. Got the ball free, and they get the ball out here, the Shockers, towards forward 50. Good tackle laid. Couldn't quite give him any space to go anywhere, Alex Kailotto. So 60 metres from home, it'll be ball back up once again. McRae goes in the ruck. Not the first choice ruckman for the Shockers, but free kick being paid here. A little bit of a high tackle. Played on, just dribbled a ball out the back. Not sure he was quite ready for that. Jolly maybe collected a little high, but did well to break the tackle. Handball over the top to Searles. Works his way back through the contest and through hands. A little chip kick over the top. McInnes. Handball to the outer side. Singleton. Going to go long inside forward 50. Has a few players in the goal square and eventually fisted through. Did well there, Agnew. So through for the first minor score here for Prince Alfred. 4-1-25, placed 2 behinds on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. So, Agnew has had to do a fair bit in defence to start this one for Sacred Heart. Long down the line, a good mark taken. The forward having to play up a little bit in Harrison Francis. Just pops a long ball through the corridor into a dangerous position, and another good mark taken. Good bodywork inside forward 50. And it'll give Ben Moroney a chance at goal. So pretty well straight in front here. We mentioned before, the weather's not really a factor whatsoever. No real breeze to speak of. And a really important kick here for Sacred Heart. Just to stabilise a little bit, and good end-to-end play. So, Moroney yet to kick a goal in season 2025. Looks like it's online. I don't know if it's got the distance, but it has. They're celebrating. So through for his first goal of the afternoon, and of course the first goal for Sacred Heart. And if Play HQ isn't telling me any lies, it's his first goal of the season as well. And on the Kirin Hayaketsu scoreboard, a really important one. Margin now just shortens up that little bit as they've started to gain a little bit more momentum here in the first quarter. So, back in the middle. Prince Alfred looking to respond quickly and just hold this advantage, but breaking through the middle of the contest, Kailotto bumps it inside forward 50. Maybe should have been paid the mark there. Rupana working his way to the front of the contest, comes back to Simons, works his way onto his right foot, inside forward 50, looking for the marker leading up at the footy. Couldn't quite take it. Was the captain in there in Kailotto, but eventually it dribbles over. So, to hurl it back in. Knocked down in front. It looks like it's going nowhere, so umpire will come back around and ball it up. Once again, handballed out the back, and they're able to clear without too many issues. Bentley sitting underneath it, couldn't quite take the mark. Trying to pick up the footy, but couldn't get anything clean. Dewhurst snapping around his body, but smothered. So now into the centre square. Foot race at the footy. Good pick up there underneath by Tyler Kelly. They're able to bomb it through the middle. Contest brewing there. Rupana picking it up underneath. Handballing it off. Good smother there. Bo McRae couldn't get the inside forward 50. Rupana onto his left foot. Going long inside, but mark taken out the back. So good defence here from Prince Alfred. So to the outer side, Jolly through hands, comes out the back. Agnew's there, but has a couple Prince Alfred players to try and beat. Quickly wrapped up in a tackle. So umpire will circle around and ball it up. Centre wing here, just slightly favouring Sacred Heart side of the ground. McRae out the back, just has to snap around onto his right foot. Does pump it inside forward 50 now, but sitting underneath it. Once again taking the defensive mark. They chip the ball across. So Bromley has a one-on-one down the line, sends a long high ball up. Eventually the cavalry arrive, knock it over. Not able to take the mark was Oliver McInnes. So to be hurled back in once again. So Ruckman to go at it. Kailotto knocks it down. Trying to get the handball out the back. Maybe didn't quite get the handball, and yeah, that'll be called for holding the ball, illegal disposal. Did play on, so has to pump it long quickly. Comes to a one-on-one contest, nearly taking the mark. Agnew picks it up out the back, has to snap around the body, and that's an effective kick in the end as Kailotto takes the mark. Been one of their best, no doubt about it. So just chips the ball across, and Agnew decides to go back the way it came. Kailotto plays on. Going to send a long ball inside forward 50. The pack's going to converge on this one. Out the back, no one able to take the mark. Corralling, stepping in front, snapping around the body, but missing everything. So, in fact, it was through for a behind. So through for a minor score. Sacred Heart moving to 139, 4-1-25 for Prince Alfred on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. So good ball through the centre of the ground. Mark taken by Charlick, but in fact actually dropping the ball. I looked down assuming he was just going to mark it, but quickly set upon by Rupana. Once again knocked down, having to snap around the body. Jolly there with a good smother, and they pick it up through the middle of the ground. Once again, inside forward 50. Bentley sitting underneath this one. Good defence. Well done there by Sanderson to get the fist. Around the body, good mark, top of the goal square. And a chance here to try and convert. Brilliant work, snapping around the body right up to the top and get an opportunity to convert on their 5th goal. So Ethan Bald puts it through. So important goal there. And through for the 5th goal here for Prince Alfred. On the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard, they respond. And they've just come out here and, well, shocked them, pardon the pun, but 31 plays 9 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. They started fast. 2 goals to James Bentley, 2 goals to Scott Bentley, and 1 there to Ethan Bald. Giving themselves a really good platform for the rest of this game. So with this quarter coming close to a close, a little tap down the back, and the Shock players have the opportunity to pump the ball back inside forward 50. Snapping around their body now under the contest. Good smother there. Good defensive work once again by Prince Alfred. Quickly wrapped up in a tackle. Had his head maybe driven into the ground, but the umpire's going to say, give it to me. And ball it back up once more. So knocked down inside. Couldn't quite get any clean possession there as Bentley set upon by Hunter Window. So same spot. Not quite going anywhere. Comes out the back of the contest. Simons pops it around his body into a dangerous position. Comes off hands, down in front. Circling around, popping it up towards goal. Has this quite got the distance? Not quite. A good mark taken over the top. Just got in a good position and fell away, and really brilliant mark taken. So Dean chips it across. Deep in the pocket. Tries to send a long ball down the line. Maybe just didn't collect all of it. Now on the paint of 50. There's been a whistle and a high tackle. So Window receiving the free kick. A little too far out. Sends a long ball up to the top of the goal square. Over the back, bodies go crashing to the floor. Ball sitting underneath this contest. Not able to get any clean possession. The umpire's going to ball it up. So important here that Sacred Heart get a goal. Just stay in touch. Over the back, the debutant ripping it out of the contest and popping it on his boot. Quickly chasing it down. Who can get to it first and maybe collect it high? There he was. So good work there by Tyler Kelly. Looks to play on pretty quickly. Pops it up into space. Rapana sitting underneath this one. Couldn't get any clean ball. Neither can anyone really at the moment. Sitting back underneath it once again is Kelly. And he's wrapped up. So back in the ruck. Knocked down and quickly tackled. Of course, the player of the game today will win not only a pair of Archie's thongs, super comfy thongs, but also win a Settlers Tavern $50 voucher and a Filming Footy beanie. So plenty to play for here individually as well as the game. Knocked down underneath and quickly trying to rip his way through was Window, but he's been paid the free kick once again. So just a little over 50 metres out, tries to pop it up to McRae, but thumped over. It's going to go close to the boundary line, eventually dribbles over. Been really impressed with the work defensively here for Prince Alfred. When they've picked up a little bit more momentum here, the Shockers here in the first quarter, they haven't really let it result in any scores as they hurl it back in. So who can get any clean possession out of this one? Snapping around the body into a dangerous position. Good mark! Clayton Simon sitting underneath it. Just got his body in the right position, and this opportunity is probably one of the easiest they've had here in this game. Late here in this first quarter, Clayton Simons has an opportunity to trim the margin a little bit. He is the leading scorer for the Shockers in season 2025 with 19 goals. Fun fact, he's actually kicked a goal in every single game since round 5, bar one. So on his way in, goes close to the goal line. Don't know if it's quite got the distance, so keep an eye on the goal umpire here. They're about to converge about it. No clean idea about whether this got over or not. The umpire looks as if he may be signalling a behind. And Prince Alfred are pretty happy with the result of that as well. So, in fact, no score seems to be the result there. Umpire didn't signal anything at all. So, that brings the first quarter to a close. BTR Excavations Div 1 Adelaide Footy League, and you see the margin there on your screen, 31 plays 9. We're going to go to a break. We'll be back for the second quarter. Welcome back here to Park 9 for the BTR Excavations Div 1 filming footy match between Shock here visiting Prince Alfred Old Collegians, and it's been a fast start here for Prince Alfred. If you're not familiar with the way the ladder sits here at the moment, then Prince Alfred currently sitting in 8th position, just percentage outside of relegation. Of course, Paynham sitting in that 9th spot, and Broadview already confirmed as being relegated to Div 2 in season 2026. So a win here, incredibly crucial for the side at Maroon. But Shock, well, they're still fighting for a final position after starting the season 6-0. They've pretty quickly slid their way down the ladder. So a win here is crucial to stay in touch with the likes of Salisbury North. Golden Grove have just about taken their spot up the top end of the ladder as well. Of course, Port District up top. Ross-Trevor, one of those sides that's just about locked away their position as well. So as these positions become less and less available, wins like today are crucial for Shock. My name's Lewis McKenna. We've got Barnaby on the camera as well, so stay with us here in the second quarter and watch it all unfold. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, of course. You're watching on Filming Footy, live and free, presented by Dartfish. Going inside forward 50, jumping at it was Kai Lotto. Window sitting underneath. Handballed it off. Now Simons just stops, props, and pops it inside forward 50. Sliding forward and taking the mark. Get another crack on goals here. Really early here in the second quarter. It was a good mark taken by Kakuro. Kicked 11 goals so far this season. It was brilliant work out of the midfield, something they didn't get a lot of in the first quarter. So no real breeze to speak of. Only has to kick this about 30 metres. Send it's on its way. Through for a goal. And the first here in the first minute. And the first goal of the game put through for Tristan Kakuro. One of the leading goal scorers here for Sacred Heart. Of course, they're missing Henry McAuliffe here this afternoon, who has kicked 14 goals this season. They're led by Clayton Simons, who's kicked 19. But an important goal to bring it to 31-15 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. So now back down to a 16-point game. Good tap down out the back, and they try to go back inside forward 50 once again. Rapana not quite taking the mark, handballing it back, and they're able to move their way through now through Beau McRae, the co-captain. Out the back of the contest, they get another chance on goal. Snapping around his body once again was Kakuro, but couldn't quite put it through this time. So now down to a 15-point margin. 31 plays 16. So Pitt out of the goal square. Was their lone goal scorer last week. Goes long to the outer side. One-on-one contest. Gets knocked down in front. A little bit of space here for Prince Alfred to get to work. They chip a little ball over the top. Running straight onto the footy, and a handball over the top from Searles just into space. Trying to win his way through and did pretty well there. I believe that was Hunter Window there on the outer side. McRae handballs it off, and Simon. So some of the guns here for Shock just getting it done. Good mark taken. Stretching up was Moroney. Just kicks a little ball over the top. Once again, Kakuro amongst it early in this second quarter. This will be his third shot on goal inside 3 minutes. Talk about being busy and putting a stamp on the game. Saw a couple players for Prince Alfred kick 2 apiece in the first quarter. The Bentleys in Scott and James. A chance here to try and convert on an opportunity once again. Sends it on its way. It's not a clean drop punt, but it'll count all the same. And through for his second goal, the third here for Shock. And they have drawn really close. Prince Alfred now just out by 9. And Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard, 31 plays 22. Starting to heat up here a little bit. Just clean work out of the middle here from the Shockers. And this is the thing, they're a side that did start the season 6-0. They know how to win. And they know how to grind out wins as well. Just a few results haven't fallen their way. Sitting underneath the contest and handballing it out the window. So here they go once again, inside forward 50, leading up at the footy, not quite taking the mark. So underneath the contest there, Harrison Francis maybe dragged it back in, but no free kick paid. 30 metres out from the Shockers' goal. Trying to bring this inside of a goal. Tap down the back, couldn't quite get clean possession. Jolly just pumps the ball out the back of the contest, but a good mark taken. Tyler Kelly. Back inside forward 50. Over the back of the contest once again, Kakuro. How about this quarter? This is going to be his 4th shot on goal this quarter. And just about all 3 of his set shots have come from the exact same position. Right in the same spot. He's going to try and put through his 3rd goal in just 5 minutes. 3 goals in the 2nd quarter. And just like that, they have come surging back into this. 5 minutes gone. And on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard, it's just 3 points the difference. He's kicked 3 goals, 1 here in the 2nd quarter. And yes, we are only 5 minutes in. It's just absolutely incredible footy just to take over the contest. And if Shock have an opportunity to come back into this game and eventually win it, you might be looking at that 5 minutes right there. Back in the middle, they've really haven't had clean possession at all. Prince Alfred going once again, nearly taking the mark. Kakuru probably pushed in the back. He follows up with a tackle, spills out the back of the contest. Kailoto getting tackled. Maybe had an opportunity at a free there. Over the back of the contest, and that should be a free kick, and was. Just jumped onto his back. So Chris Short, just an opportunity here for Prince Alfred just to find something uncontested. They still have the lead, but it is being evaporated away quickly. McRae sitting underneath it, maybe got his arm chopped, but sitting in front, quickly getting tackled. So just about in neutral territory here at the moment. Hasn't gone much any further than this for Prince Alfred here in the 2nd quarter. McRae tackled without it. That should be a free kick. It was. Just come off hands and he was dumped to the ground. So you'll get an opportunity to pump it long inside forward 50 once again, and he does exactly that. Who's going to jump at the footy? Kailoto was blocked away from the footy, but eventually punched over the boundary line here, right in front of the commentary position. The umpire's blowing his whistle here. Feels as if there may be a free kick paid, and there is to Prince Alfred. So that contest there, Kailoto arguing that maybe he was blocked away from it, but potentially paid in opposite fashion. And free kick paid to Hugo Kelly. So has a couple options laterally, but decides to go long. Sends a long high ball up to centre wing. Look for the Flyers down in front here, snapping around the body and not really going too far, just far enough to call it an intercept mark. That's a good kick out in front of Kailoto. Couldn't quite take the mark. Good work defensively there, the 2 number 39s going at it. Lucas Bernardi there with a defensive fist, just calling it neutral and getting it over the boundary line. So they have stabilised here in the last couple minutes. Just put a band-aid on it, you would say, Prince Alfred, without really coming back into it. Kelly hands it off. Good kick there from Jolly. You'd expect nothing less. Up the wing and diving to take the mark. So going back inside forward 50 or close to, comes off the front of the contest. First real opportunity here, you'd think, to keep the ball up there end of the ground. Sitting underneath it, the umpire's circling, going to be holding the ball. Good work there from Joe Howard. So looks a little too far out to score. He's just going to pop it up high. Going to go close to goal, top of the goal square, out the back, not quite taking the mark, moves it by hands, just snapping around, but through for a behind. So once again on the scoreboard, Ethan Bald. 1 goal, 1 here this afternoon. Up by 4 points on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard, Prince Alfred. 32 plays 28. As the Shockers look to retreat and get it back inside forward 50. Little chipping ball over the top. Extra little pass, but it's a sloppy kick. So mark taken by Mitch Dean. Just comes across the middle of the ground. So Pitt. Such an effective player. Prince Alfred. Long ball inside forward 50. Waits for the Flyers. Kelly couldn't quite take the mark. Once again, Bentley's around it. Works his way around a few. Snaps around his body, going close to goal, but through for a minor score. So now up by 5 points here, Prince Alfred. They've just stabilised a little bit here. So as they retrieve the ball, Shock, they'll be looking to find an option. They play on out of the goal square. So long down the wing. Kelly jumping up and ripping it down in front. 65 from home, hands it off to Pitt. He's going to go back inside forward 50. Leading up at the footy was Bentley. Couldn't quite rip it down as Agnew and Bentley have a little bit of a push and shove. Carlotto knocks it down. McRae, little handball out the back. Simons, ball smothered. Ball back in dispute. Moving it through hand. Look at Shock go here at the back. Need to get the possession back. And there's going to be a free kick here paid. Yeah, it's a free kick to Shock. So they're moving the ball quickly out of their defence, but just a couple little fumbles. There's a handball off to Simons. With the left peg, just goes long down the line, but Kelly once again taking the intercept mark. Not the first time this afternoon. Just comes across into the middle of the ground. Hildyard leading up at it. McRae picking it up, just handballs it out the back of the contest, and Jolly comes ripping his way through. Sends it up to a one-on-one contest, and nearly taking the mark. Wasn't quite pulling it down in the end. He eventually dribbles it about 30 metres. With Bentley, handballs it back to Jolly. Finds something inside forward 50. Just comes off hands of his leading forward in Will Schmidt, but there's been a free kick paid here. A little bit of holding off the footy. So Schmidt will get an opportunity as there's a bit of push and shove off the play. Plays on. Looks as if he needs to come back behind his mark. So too far from home to score. About 65 from home. Has to send a long one up. Geez, that's a big hoof going close to goal. Top of the goal square, out the back of the contest. Prince Alfred do have the numbers. Ducking around, a couple snapping around. But once again, through for a behind. So, peppering the goals here at the moment. Prince Alfred now back up by one straight kick. 34 plays 28 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. So 12 minutes gone. Trust you're enjoying the coverage. Saturday afternoon, Adelaide Footy League Div 1, proudly sponsored by BTR Excavations. Shock now. Come out, but that's a good... Oh, nearly ripping it down was Kelly. Couldn't quite claim the mark this time. In fact, that might not have been Kelly, that was Schmidt. So, out of side, Carlotto and the ruck. Neither ruckman able to get too much of an advantage. Schmidt picking it up off the ground and just dribbling a ball towards the paint of 50. Rupana couldn't quite get a clean pick-up, coming out the back, snapping around towards the top of the goal square. Ball's in dispute here as it dribbles close to the goal line. And eventually it looks as if it's going to be escorted over the boundary line, or at least close to. Umpire's going to circle around and he's going to be balled up just inside the boundary line here. So a chance here for Prince Alfred. Try and kick their first goal as Bentley whips back the head, but umpire wasn't falling for it. No prior opportunity. So it goes back into the ruck. Knocking it down in front there. A few players getting their heads collected, but maybe just umpire a little blindsided. So in the same spot, they're going to hurl it back up once more. Not really going too far here at the moment. Dewhurst under the contest. Falls out the back of the pack. Just walking his way back through. And umpire now circling, but he's going to ball it up once again. It's just Nick Jordan there picking it up off the ground and couldn't quite get anywhere on it. Bentley now this time picking it up underneath. Little dribbling handball out the back, and Agnew hands it off. Picking it up and spinning his way out of the contest off to Rapana. Simons, can they get any clean possession? Maybe just smothered there, but sitting underneath it. In fact, that is going to be paid the mark to Will McAuliffe. Just goes across the ground to Jordan. Just pops it out into space. Now running onto it. In fact, that's Jordan here now. Little chipping ball, and that's a good one. Marked by Gluyas. One-on-one contest here. Hildyard going back inside forward 50. Plays on. Runs his full length. Goes out the back once again. Nearly taken the mark. Couldn't quite get it this time. He's all around it, Kakuro. Three second quarter goals. Nearly ripped down the mark. Would have had a chance at his fourth, but 15 metres out. It'll be hurled back up. Underneath the contest there, trying to get the handball out, but couldn't quite get it. No prior opportunity. A beautiful midwinter's day here, second day of August. Starting to maybe show signs of warming up just that little bit. Top of 14 degrees here in Adelaide. Handball over the top. Hildyard quickly wrapped up in a tackle, and the umpire said he didn't have it for long enough, so it'll be balled back up once again. Down Shock's end of the ground here at the moment. So Jolly eventually getting the handball out. Pitt, the beneficiary, just hacks it on his boot. Goes long up the wing. Gluyas sitting underneath it, but got a bad bounce. And Schmidt now for Prince Alfred. Handball over the top, and they got some space. Going inside forward 50. Couple Prince Alfred players out the back. Good mark taken by Ethan Bald. Just judged it perfectly. And amongst all the mud there at that end of the ground, he'll have an opportunity to convert his second goal of the afternoon. The first goal for Prince Alfred here in the second quarter, and just a stabiliser. They got the jump, kicked the first 4 goals of the game. But Ethan Bald has been handy. Rolls his way in, converts, so 2 goals for Bald. In fact, his first 2 goals of the season as well. Ethan Bald. Been handy in this one as they now go out by 2. And on the Kirin Hayaketsu scoreboard, out by 12 points. 40 plays 28. About 17 minutes gone in this second quarter. It's been an entertaining game so far as well. I'll give you a score update on the other games around the league as well. Of course, you can tune into any of those games on Filming Footy as well, but Kelly is going to walk his way inside forward 50 and pump a long ball up. Sitting underneath this one, couldn't quite get any clean possession there, Prince Alfred. As the Shock just retrieve. Handball it off to Jolly, trying to rip his way through a tackle. Got an awkward handball out the back, but too awkward, said the umpire. That's the legal disposal. And a free kick's been paid here to Tyson Coe. It looks as if maybe there's been a 25 paid here, so Jolly maybe just having a word to the umpire, and maybe too much of a word. So Coe, a little kick over the top. Ethan Moore chips it across. McRae sitting underneath it, stands true. 55 out, and intercepted once again by Kelly, so he has had a few intercept possessions. So they go to the outer side. Handball over the top. Pitt, long ball down the wing. Over the back, nearly taking the mark was Schmidt. Underneath it, couldn't quite take the mark, Kakuro. Little handball out, Jolly. Extra handball over the top. Good pick up, back to Jolly. Here's the voice of Pitt from behind and responds. Long ball to the outer side. Gluyas picks it up, handballs it back to his teammate. Has to work his way around. A little chipping ball over the top, not really to anyone's advantage. Picking it up was Hildyard. balks around a couple, handballs it back to McRae, who goes inside forward 50. Francis, they'll pay that mark, held onto it long enough. Harrison Francis leading up at the footy. So, doesn't look super confident about this shot on goal. Looks as if he's going to play on from the paint of 50, put it up into a dangerous position, but Prince Alfred all the way around this. Kelly sitting underneath it, just punches the ball out. Pitt now fumbles the ball, but they do get their hands through. They've got some space to get to work now through Singleton. A little kicking ball over the top. Gets it back now, has a little bit of space to work. Long ball inside forward 50. Jumping at the footy, not quite taking the mark was Bentley, knocks it down in front. And end-to-end footy there for Prince Alfred. Get a stoppage inside their forward 50. So around the mud, Schmidt knocks it down. Quickly wrapped up in a tackle there is Joe Howard. Gets knocked down once again. Dewhurst is sitting underneath this one. A little hacking ball out, not really going too far. Agnew pops it onto the boot and retrieves outside of forward 50, but Pitt's going to pick this one up and send it right back from where it came. Sees an option short, but just over the head there of his teammate, of McGowan. And of course, last touch here. So, Shockers over the top, and it's going to be Moroney. One-on-one contest, just popped down to the ground. McRae maybe ripped down without it afterwards, but no free kick paid. They're going to send a ball back inside forward 50. Agnew sitting underneath this and knocks it over. So, to be hurled back in. About 30 metres around from the Shockers' goals. In fact, Prince Alfred's goals, I should say. Is out the back and popping it on the boot is Ben Moroney. It's a centre wing, but mark's been taken by Pitt. Comes across the middle of the ground, sees an option he likes, and it was a good kick. Singleton had a short option, decided not to go there. So goes out a little wider. Kelly not quite taking the mark. Handballs it off to Pitt. Extra little handball over. The debutant onto his boot inside forward 50. Just beats all heads. Over the back now, Simons. Couldn't quite take the mark there off hands, and quickly wrapped up was McRae. So, Lachlan Moore, the debutant, number 70, is a really interesting story for Prince Alfred. I was told before the game that actually started the season in round 4 playing C7s. Played a lot of Div 1 reserves then as well, and he's broken into the senior side. So, an incredible story. It's actually Prince Alfred's E grade playing in the C7s. So just unbelievable work for him to get an opportunity in the best league of amateur footy. As Singleton gets the clean ball, handballs it off to Pitt, who's been big in the last few minutes. Over the back now, sitting underneath and quickly wrapped up in a tackle. Good tackle laid there by McInnes. Couldn't quite get any clean room there, Tom McDermott. So, once again, Schmidt working his way through the contest. Comes out the back but turns the ball over. Taking a bounce dangerously in defensive 50. Takes another one now, clearing out of his back line. Just sends it up into a dangerous position. Prince Alfred players colliding inside. Pitt now picking it up, moving it by hand. Now through the middle of the ground. They're going to try and send the ball back inside forward 50. A little bit of free room here for Charlick. Now jumping up at the footy, no one able to rip down the mark. Comes down in front. A little handball out the back, and able to clear it out there was Tyler Kelly. Not able to take the mark, so picking it up. Did well there, the debutant in Lachlan Moore. Handballs it off and goes inside forward 50. Comes off hands, not quite ripping down the mark. Maybe some cries of free kicks there for Bentley. Little chipping ball over the top. Jolly intercepting, handballs it off. Bentley once again towards goals. Is it going to dribble through? No. Eventually goes over through for a minor score. So a little bit of messy play there between the two sides. It was turnover city, but it is a behind for Prince Alfred, now moving out to a 13-point margin on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. So 41 plays 28, getting towards the end of this second quarter. Of course, we thank you for joining us, our streaming partners as well, Dartfish, Filming Footy, Kieran Hayaketsu, Classic Clashes, Archie's, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes and Kimberley Accommodation Group. Of course, we thank BTR Excavations, the main sponsor of the Div 1 Adelaide Footy League. So long down the line, and Kelly once again sitting underneath it. Just sat in the hole and taken intercept mark after intercept mark. Jolly holds on to it. Maybe thought there was a little bit of an encroachment on the mark. Moves his way across and finds Singleton. Plays on through the middle of the ground. Long ball into forward 50, looking for the Flyers. Good grab. Sitting in front of the pack. Just reached up and plucked it from the clouds and have an opportunity to try and convert on a goal. So Will Schmidt, brilliant play through the middle of the ground. It was good by Jolly finding Singleton and just working his way inside forward 50. So Schmidt here to try and kick an important goal to get him out by a few. Looks like it's fairly good to start. Just fades away and thumps into the goalpost. So through for a minor score. Yet another one here. So they now move to 6-6-42 to 4-4-28 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. They started 4 straight. So 2 goals 4 since that point. Prince Alfred, they rue their opportunities. So now whistle being blown here on the outer side. Kelly knocks it down in front. Not really to too many advantage. Window got the handball out, but Pitt intercepting centre wing. Had the runners go past, but he's been really important here in this second quarter. Just pops a ball out in front, but working his way in front of the footy was Hunter Window. Of course, Glenelg Premier last year, Hunter Window. Decided to ply his trade in the Div 1 Adelaide Footy League this year and made a good fist of it as well, being one of their better players. As they go inside forward 50, Kakuro sitting at the back of this contest, but well won there in the end. Still trying to stay with it, going to ground. Handball over the top, so Singleton. McRae trying to rip his way through the contest, has to get the handball off and does. Koa around his body, through hands, out the back, and he's able to just put through the easiest of goals is Will McAuliffe. Brilliant forward 50 pressure there from the Shockers, and a really important goal. They draw closer once again, and now just a 7-point ball game. Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard 5-4 at the moment to 6-6. They've just evened it back up here. Really important. So, in fact, that'll be 8 points, the difference now. 42 plays 34. So umpire back in the middle. Siren should really go at any moment, you feel. 28 minutes gone in this one, but they have another opportunity. Streaming inside forward 50, sending it on its way. He's put it through for a big goal. Marching his way through was Ethan Moore. And how important was that? Right before the siren. Brings this game really close. 42 plays 40 at half time. Just a 2-point lead. They come into quarter time, 31-9 Prince Alfred. So Shockers will be incredibly happy with that as we go to a half-time break. Don't go anywhere. Of course, you can catch up on any of the other games going on and filming footy in half-time. But come right back for this second half for the BTR Excavations Adelaide Footy League Div 1. Welcome back to Park 9 here, Div 1 of the Adelaide Footy League, and a really important matchup for both these sides for different reasons. One side looking to stay out of relegation, and Prince Alfred currently 8th on the ladder, just percentage outside of that zone. And well, it's Sacred Heart Old Collegians, well, they're still fighting to stay in the ladder, and it's important to talk about the two matchups. Of course, you can see it's 42 plays 40 in this one. Really close game that Sacred Heart have come clawing back into, but around the grounds here at the moment, Payneham are that side they're going to be worried about, currently in 9th position, and if the ladder to have finished right now, they would find themselves in Div 2 next year, but still in it, currently trailing by 19 points against Golden Grove, who are absolutely on a roll here in this competition. Port District with a narrow margin of 8 points over Glenunga here at the moment, so that'll be half-time there. Salisbury North comprehensively 72-16 over Broadview at the moment. This, of course, is a close match, 42 plays 40, and another really close match between Ross Trevor, currently in the top 4, and St Peter's, who are second on the ladder, just percentage off of top spot. Just 1 point the difference, 4-1-25 to 4-2-26. You can catch all of those games live on Filming Footy, of course, on YouTube, live and free. And the goal kickers in this game, well, it's been 3 players that have kicked all 6 goals for Prince Alfred. Scott Bentley with 2, James Bentley with 2, all 4 of those goals coming in the first quarter, and Ethan Bald has kicked the last 2 for Prince Alfred. For Sacred Heart, well, it was Tristan Kakuro, 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes to start the second quarter. Will McAuliffe with 1, Ben Moroney with 1, and Ethan Moore kicking a goal just before the halftime siren. We're back underway here in the middle. It's knocked down there by Carlotto. Thank you for watching us on Filming Footy. My name's Lewis McKenna. We've got Barnaby on the camera as well. Little handball out the back of the pack and kick over the top to Jolly. Schmidt taking the mark, finds a little bit of room to go inside forward 50, sends a long ball up. Bentley sitting underneath this one, but falling back was Kelly. Brilliant mark, kicking the goal. Fantastic work by Hugo Kelly. Been one of the best so far this afternoon, and Prince Alfred, as quick as you like, end-to-end footy. And they now go out by 8. Kelly with a goal. Kicks his 9th goal of the season, his first of the afternoon. They've led the whole way, but it was a brilliant mark, just falling his way back. Bentley was sitting underneath it the whole time, didn't even give him the opportunity, Kelly. Just drifted back, taking the mark, and inside the first minute, they get a goal on the board. So the vice-captain, certainly a contender halfway through this game for the Archie Thongs. Of course, they get a $50 voucher to the Settlers Tavern, as well as a Filming Footy beanie made by Custom ORTC. And they go once again. Schmidt was involved in the last play, handballs it off. Good little chipping ball over the top, and Searles now with a little bit of space to go. Turns on the Jets inside forward 50. Up to the top of the goal square. Bentley underneath it. Agnew gets a hand on it. They handball it back into a dangerous position, but Agnew smart enough to knock it through for a behind. So they've got putting the heat on to start this one, just like they did down this end in the first quarter. Now out by 9 points on the Kirin Hayaketsu scoreboard. So Agnew sends it up to the Payneham 50. A little handball out the back there from Pritchard. And it's going to come back inside. Once again, sitting underneath it was Bentley. Couldn't quite get it, but rove well by Charlick. Moving it by hand, snapping around the body. It's going to go close to goal. Is it going to dribble its way through? It does. Kelly once again. Hugo Kelly. We saw Tristan Kakuro kick 3 goals in 5 minutes. Kelly's gone 2 in 2. And Prince Alfred have just turned on the Jets at the right time and turned it out to a 15-point margin once again. This game has just ebbed and flowed. And he loves a celebration as well. Hugo Kelly, so ripping start. So 4 multiple goal scorers so far for Prince Alfred as well. 2 for Kelly, 2 for Scott Bentley, 2 for James Bentley, and 2 for Ethan Bald. Only had 1 goal, it must be reminded, last week, as been tackled, got the handball away. Getting the handball underneath was Jolly. Schmidt moves it along, but they're calling this one illegal disposal, I believe. Maybe just saying that he threw it out. Jolly. So Window plays on the first chance here for Sacred Heart as a good ball inside forward 50. Leading straight at the footy and taking the mark there. So they'll go inside, leading straight up, not quite being able to bring it down. So gets knocked over. That was once again Kakuro leading up at the footy. Knocked over the boundary line here. So down by 15. They've been down by that margin a couple times in this game. They have found ways to surge back in. So Ruckman to go at it. Kailotto gets the first hands on it. Jolly, unsurprisingly, amongst the contest once again. Taken down without it. That should be a free kick paid, hanging on off the footy. So good work by Mitchell Dean. So has an option laterally. I'm just going to send a long ball up to the contest instead. Over the back, not quite taking the mark. Off hands, falls down to the ground, and coming back through the contest is Window onto his preferred right foot. Simon's unable to get it. McAuliffe just stops, props, and eventually thrown over the boundary line. What a fun game this has been. For two sides that, as I mentioned, are going to struggle to contend for the premiership. We never know what will happen with Sacred Heart. They could turn the Jets on at the right time, but you would think they're somewhat out of contention at this point. It's been a really entertaining contest. Still plenty on the line for both these sides. As Dewhurst moves the ball out through hand and they send it long inside forward 50 once again. Couldn't quite take the mark out the back of the contest. Prince Alfred. Jolly. Little grubber of a ball down the line and eventually over the boundary line through Hunter Window. So 50 metres out here. Knocked down in front underneath the contest and did well there trying to get it to McRae, but couldn't quite get it through. And right on the paint of 50, it'll be ball back up. So once again, Kailotto just off the elbow, comes back out. Window was there once again. Out the back of the contest, just holds up in the mud. Good pick up there in the circumstances, snapping around the body into the goalpost. Couldn't quite get it through for a goal. Ben Moroney through for a minor score. Now Prince Alfred out by just the 14 points. 55 plays 41 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Thank you to our sponsors as well. Stream partners, Filming Footy, Dartfish, Kieran Hayaketsu, Classic Clashes, Filming Footy, Archie's, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes and Kimberley Accommodation Group. One of the best prizes in local footy as well. The player of the season will win a High Five E-Bike as well. So amazing prizes, but the number one player in every game will walk away with some Archie's thongs as well. As ball's now in dispute here. Neither team able to get real clean possession, but a whistle's been blown. It's going to be a free kick here to Sacred Heart. And I think this is going to be McAuliffe. In fact, it's not. It's going to be Tom McDermott. So McDermott gets a shot on goal here to stabilise and bring it back to single digits. No real breeze to speak of. He stands on the paint of 50 at the moment, but only has to kick this about 25. So distance won't be a problem at all. Goal umpire has to do a little bit of shuffling, and it does go through for a minor score. So another behind here for the Shockers. Now a 13-point margin on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. So Prince Alfred through Pitt. March their way out. That's a shocker of a kick, though, through both hands of Rapana and Hildyard. Ball now back in dispute. Quickly wrapped up in a tackle and couldn't go anywhere, Joe Howard. So it'll be hurled back up on the corner of the square. Taking it right out of the ruck and just trying to snap on his body, but was smothered. Agnew sitting underneath this one. Just got tackled as he picked it up. So going to be ball back up once again. Try to get the tap away. Rupana then wrapping up. Now, Reggie Rupana only played about 5 A-grade games. I believe this is his 5th A-grade game. Got to call his first one at Golden Grove for the game of the week a few weeks back. Got to kick a goal in that one as well. They got around him as Kelly picks it up underneath and not going anywhere. So a little bit of a 0-0 draw here between these two sides. In the last few minutes, Noble gets first hands on it. Schmidt trying to quickly get rid of it. Bentley there underneath. Umpire now circling back once again. So you see the collection of players around this ball, probably both sides, about 10 players, all within about 15 metres of the ball. Little handball out the back there. Not quite going anywhere yet. Rupana working his way onto the footy and smothered over the line there by Jolly. As the waft of the barbecue comes across the commentary table as well. Smells amazing. It's kind of a bit cruel when you can't go anywhere. But it'll be hurled back in. Kelly, maybe a little bit of a push in the back it was. So they'll get a chance to go inside forward 50. That man in Noble once again. A little too far out to score, so has to just put it up into a dangerous position. Jumping at it, couldn't quite rip down the mark. Picking it up with one hand underneath. Should be paid for holding the ball and is. Brilliant tackling pressure inside their forward 50. And they'll get a good chance on goal here. Surely can't miss this opportunity here, the Shockers. And it'll come through Ed Pedler. So not too much angle to speak of. About 30-degree angle. And again, like we said, the distance won't be a problem. Breeze, not an issue at all. None of that around. And an important goal here to stay in touch. They've been mostly on top since quarter time. Prince Alfred have had their moments. He's pushed it out a little bit, but just creeps it through for a goal. Of course, his first of the afternoon. And an important goal there for the Shockers. 55 plays 48 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Back down to single digits. A 7-point margin. 11 minutes gone in this one. So living up to be a really entertaining game. So, back in the middle, Kelly and the ruck, 2 third-quarter goals that got us started. But since then, Shock have dominated possession and kept it inside their forward 50. They go back there now in front. Rupana gets his hands on it, but just dribbles away a little bit. McRae jumps on top. Rupana does pick up the ball eventually. They move it by hands. Kai Lotto working his way close to goal. Oh, good mark. Out the back of the contest. Good body positioning and another opportunity here, as easy as they'll come for the Shockers. They just keep it going. The ruckman once again in Noble. He's kicked 8 goals on the season. This one dead straight in front. Only has to kick it about 30 metres. And this to make it as close as it's been since the start of the game. Coming to half-time, it was 2 points the difference. They come out and kicked a couple goals in a row, but just like that, they're back into it. Noble on his way in. Has to make the goal umpire do a bit of work. So said it was an easy opportunity, and that it was, but back to 1 goal straight. Prince Alfred out by a goal. 55 plays 49 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. We thank you for joining us on your Saturday afternoon. Beautiful day here in Adelaide. This goes over the boundary line on the outer side. So, hurled back in about 55 metres around from the Shockers' goal. Bodies go crashing to the floor and that ball's going nowhere. Umpire wastes no time, hurls it back up. McRae picks it off the pack. Left foot inside forward 50. He's going to beat them all out the back of the contest, but dribbles through for yet another minor score. So 5 points the difference now. They do bring it here to this near side. They move it by hand, so trying to find something more. A little dribbling ball through the centre of the ground, leading his way up at the footy. Did well to take it there. Ethan Bald, but just turned the ball over. Shockers now. Just drop it in, but falling back and taking the mark was Pitt, but there has been a free kick paid here. So umpires maybe said that, yep, you got to hand it off to your teammate, and I'm going to give it back to you anyway. So Pitt goes long up the middle of the ground, but Gluyas is sitting right underneath it. Chips the ball over the top and falling across. Once again, another intercept mark for Kelly. Had Jolly short. Goes long down the line. Bentley, a ripping grab. Going up against Agnew, tough competition. Turns around and the right foot inside forward 50, and Dewhurst in good position to take the mark. So, Dewhurst, dangerous little chipping ball, but good enough to get it to Coe. Just comes out here to the near side, McDermott. Chipping little ball to McAuliffe. And once again over the top, so bit of uncontested ball here. They play on now, Gluyas. Just stops, props, and has to work around. That come off fingers there, so it's going to be called play on. No mark taken anyway, as there's maybe a little bit of a high fend off. And advantage paid as well. Handball off to Agnew. Big handball over the top as they get a bit of space inside. Simons just pops the ball over the top, but maybe wasn't the play. Had an option short, through for a minor score. So peppering the goals here at the moment. 4 points the margin. So 55 plays 51 in the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. They've had their opportunities here, the Shockers. I'd be happy to be in the contest as Noble takes a good mark, intercepting. So they get another opportunity to pump it back inside. Taken up a lot of time, so umpire has to force him to play on. Just chips a little ball instead, so just went the required distance. So McDermott just rolls around onto his left foot, puts it up towards the goal square. Out the back, Kailotto's there amongst it. Couldn't quite get enough room to pop it onto his boot. Did eventually, for a split second, just have a look at an open goal, but they hounded him there and right on the edge of the goal square. They're going to ball it up once more. So Ruckman, Kailotto knocks it down in front. Little quick handball out was good. They got a little bit of room to go here, Prince Alfred. Up towards Bentley. Falls in front, and there is going to be a free kick here paid. So Prince Alfred fans here at Park 9 not happy with that as the free kick's paid to Window. Just chips a little ball in, but well done there, cutting across the pack, just intercepting, but Window straight back onto it. Pops the ball onto his right foot and taking the mark inside forward 50 is McAuliffe. So it doesn't look overly confident. Chips the ball inside instead, not quite putting it into the lap of Coe. Jolly intercepts, handballs it off to Pitt. Gets smothered, Hildyard's there underneath it. This ball doesn't look like it's going too far as Pitt does eventually rip it away, but just a split second after the whistle. Just inside forward 50 here. Hildyard there amongst it. Jolly just strips it away, but handballs it back to the opposition. They intercept, they go long to the outer side, and leading his way up at the footy, taking the mark was Harrison Francis. Finally gets a crack at it, Francis. Hasn't kicked a goal here this afternoon. Has 4 on the season, but it must be said that he spent a lot of time with the Glenelg reserves and been a good key forward for them, but coming back here to play for Sacred Heart. Kicked a couple goals a few weeks ago against Golden Grove in the match of the day. So this one from about 40 has the distance covered, no doubt about it, and puts it through for a goal. So an important one for Shock and Harrison Francis. They now hit the lead. And it's their first lead of the game. Sacred Heart now out by 2. And Francis through for his first, his fifth of the season. 55 plays 57 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. 18 minutes gone in this one. So, how do Prince Alfred respond? They've got the stars to be able to do it. In the ruck once again, trying to rip it out was Noble, quickly wrapped up in a tackle. So they go at it once again, Noble knocking it down in front, Moore just out of hands. Inside forward 50 and leading his way up at the footy, did well. That was Window handballing it off to Rupana. Extra little handball going inside forward 50, looking for the lead up of Coe. Close to the boundary now. Rupana there underneath it, but eventually going over. So, you can see, maybe just off camera, but Coach Ned McHenry barking instructions, of course, now trailing for the first time in this game. A little handball over the top. Coe now just getting trailed behind, kicking it up towards goal. Not quite taking the mark. Kailotto. Francis there around it as well, as Kailotto's painted now with the mud. So now close to the boundary. In fact, it didn't go over to be balled up right here inside, just inside the boundary, as gets knocked down in front by Kelly. Just a hack around the body, but sitting underneath it was McRae. So he'll get a chance. And McRae to really put them in front. They're currently in front by 2, but this is, of course, their first lead of the game. So start to put a little bit of doubt on it. They've got a run on at the 6-minute mark of this quarter. It was Prince Alfred out by 15 points. So McRae from 45 has the distance covered, no doubt about it, but puts it through for a minor score, just falls across. So 3 points in front now, Sacred Heart. 58 plays 55, the home side here. Trailing by 3 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Haven't really had any meaningful entries inside their forward 50 for some time. They quickly play on a little chipping ball across. Send it long, looking for Kelly. He's taken plenty of marks, but oh, how about that grab from Schmidt? Falling across the front. So sends it long down the line, looking for Bentley. Agnew sitting underneath it. Bentley did take the second grab, but of course off hands. The debutant there just trying to chase it down, but did well there, Lachlan Moore, but Hildyard just escorting him over the boundary. Umpire hurls it back in. Knocked down in front there by Noble, but quickly wrapped up in a tackle. Good tackle laid by Ethan Moore. Underneath. Kelly getting the knockdown this time, but not really into anyone's hands. Moore maybe got tackled without it. Little trickling handball out to Jolly. Couldn't quite pick it up, but they've got some players here out the back. Handballing it off there was Slade. Now inside forward 50. Going close to goal as he got the distance into the left-hand goalpost was William Charlick. So score on the board to bring it back to 2. Sacred Heart in front by 2 points. 56 plays 58 as they look to go through the middle of the ground. And Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Proud sponsors of the Adelaide Footy League and Filming Footy's coverage is now on the opposite 50. Rupana wrapped up quickly, so umpire will ball it back up. This is a close game. Really, since halfway through the first quarter, it's been quite an arm wrestle. Shock would be happy with their resurgence back into this one. They trailed by 4 goals early, conceding the first 4 goals of the game, all coming through the Bentleys, kicking 2 goals apiece. There's now big fist coming out the back of the contest, but once again not really to any advantage. Moore picking it up underneath, but couldn't quite get it out. window and eventually trickling over near the boundary. McRae keeps it alive. Simons just snaps it around on his right foot inside Coe, but defended well there by Moore. So this third quarter winding close to a close. Brilliant match here at Park 9. We thank you for joining us. Adelaide Footy League proudly presented by BTR Excavations. Lotto in the ruck against Kelly. Kelly gets the fist down. He's going to go close to the boundary once again, and neither Coe or Jolly able to get any meaningful play. So boundary umpire hurls it back in. Kelly, McRae trying to rip his way through. Tackled by Pitt. Umpire's going to build it up once more. So umpire just has a quick word, but gets all the players set. Noble gets the tap down this time, but out the back of the contest. Couldn't quite get any meaningful ball out. Little handball off and going back inside forward 50 here to a dangerous position. Out the back, Francis not quite taking the mark. Trying to pick the loose ball up, but quickly tackled and did well there, Kakuro. In fact, actually, that's going to be a free kick paid, so it was a bit of a dangerous tackle, in fact, bringing the head into play. So Pritchard draws the free kick. Sends a long ball down the line. Jumping his way up the foot, he couldn't quite take the mark, Lotto. Just has to snap around and sitting right underneath this one, but has to get to work there. Noble, quickly tackled. That should be called holding the ball. What a brilliant tackle. One-on-one win for Scott Bentley. There's a bit of afters as well after this one. It's not very often that a ruckman's able to win those one-on-one contests, and nearly gave away a 25 as well. So after all that scuffling, it has given both teams a chance to flood. Goes long down the line now. Kelly's going to jump up at the foot. He got worked under it by Agnew. Bentley, a little handball at the back. Now a foot race to the ball, won by Moroney, but intercepted. Just a dribbling ball inside forward 50. Running onto it was Simons. Just snaps it around his body. Sitting underneath it. Nearly taking the mark was Moore. Little handball out now, McRae. Lachlan Moore got up there, nearly ripped it down. So, 45 metres out. Game's picking up in intensity. Noble knocks it down in front. Jolly gets the handball away. Couldn't quite get it to go anywhere. Kakuro finds a little bit of space and pumps it up the wing. Out the back, and a good mark taken by Ben Moroney. Just darts a ball inside forward 50, but it's really into space. Trusts Hildyard to get onto it first, but he can't quite get there. They do turn the ball over, though. Kakuro works his way around. Tackled. That should be holding the ball. Not called. Didn't quite get any legal disposal on that, but they called play on. Pritchard tackled quickly, and he didn't have any prior opportunity. That's a siren for three-quarter time. What an entertaining contest we got here at Park 9. 58 plays 56, and wow, stay tuned for the fourth quarter. Adelaide Footy League presented by BTR Excavations on Filming Footy. Welcome back to Park 9 here for filming footy and BTR Excavations Div 1 Adelaide Footy League, a matchup between Prince Alfred Old Collegians and Sacred Heart Old Collegians, and a matchup that does have impact on the ladder. Although Prince Alfred aren't really in finals contentions late here in the season, it is certainly something they want to be careful of to not finish in the bottom two, with of course bottom two being relegated to Div 2, Broadview confirming as one of those, and Payneham currently sitting in that position. They would be pleased at the moment to know that Payneham are down considerably in their game against Golden Grove, 90-34. That'll be sitting around three-quarter time. Port District currently up by 22 points over Glenunga, sitting on top spot of the ladder, so they'll be fairly comfortable with that margin. Salisbury North, unsurprisingly, with a comfortable 76-point margin over Broadview at the moment, so eyeing off the 100-point win there. Of course, this game here is an absolute barn burner. 2 points the difference. Sacred Heart out by 2 points. We'll go through the goal scorers in a moment. And Rostrevor out by 11 points. Maybe the surprise of the... Rostrevor, of course, a good side, but the surprise or the shock upset of the round, up by 11 points currently over St. Peter's. But all attention turns to this game and the goal scorers for Prince Alfred. They got 4 multiple goal scorers to make up their 8 goals. Hugo Kelly with 2 goals in the third quarter. Scott Bentley with 2 goals in the first, as did James Bentley, and Ethan Bald with 2 as well. And the goal scorers for Sacred Heart, well, they've spread it out a little bit more. Besides the likes of Tristan Karkuro, 3 goals in the second quarter. Ethan Moore with 1, McAuliffe with 1, and that's Will McAuliffe, Ben Moroney with 1, and Harrison Francis with 1 as well, as the fourth quarter about to get underway in what's been a really fun contest to watch. These two sides been going back at it. If you have just joined us late, it was a 4-goal lead to Prince Alfred to start out the game. 4 goals to nothing it was, and they have just turned on the jets. Sacred Heart to get back into the game. They got their first lead halfway through that quarter, and the umpire hurls it back up. So for filming footy, my name's Lewis McKenna. We've also got Barnaby on the camera, and quickly taking the mark out of the contest. As quick as you like, William Charlick. Blink and you'll miss the start of this one. A chance to go back in front here for Prince Alfred. So this one, a little more distance on it. Man on the mark does stand about 40 metres. Has to kick this all of about 45. On his way in, umpire has to shuffle over to the right, and it does go through for a minor score to get us underway. So 1 point the difference. 57 plays 58 on the Kirin Hayaketsu scoreboard. And through for a behind. Sacred Heart. Just that 1 point margin here at the moment. I think there's been a goal in the first minute of every single quarter, if I'm not mistaken. It's just been a fast start for either side. We'll see who can get on top of this one. The first 5 minutes absolutely crucial as Pritchard just escorts it over the boundary. So for any avid Prince Alfred watchers as well, any fans out there, of course, they're much spoken about. Captain coach in Ned McHenry is out today. He was hobbling around with an injury before this game, but he is here still coaching from the sidelines. But they've done well, even without him, the former Crow. Is underneath picking it up was Hildyard. Moves it off through hands. Now Agnew. Little handball over the top was good. Karkuro moves it through hands once again. Moroney gets to work. Just surrounded by Prince Alfred players, but did well to get the handball off to McDermott, but he's wrapped up, but called for a high tackle. So they still get their opportunity. It was a high tackle there from Searles. So Tom McDermott, about 80 metres from home. Sends a long ball inside forward 50. Over the back, nearly taking the mark. Couldn't quite get it down, and they'll be able to retreat to the outer side. But beating his way to the footy and doing well, crashing through the contest, sending a ball back inside forward 50. Karkuro not quite taking the mark. Out the back, little handball. McAuliffe trying to rip his way through. Did well not to catch him high. Umpire says, I'm going to ball it up 15 metres out from goal. A dangerous position. Can they get a goal here? Shot. They do well to clear. Prince Alfred now moving it out through Slade. Long ball down the line. They've got the numbers though, Shock. Kelly just thumps the ball down the line. allows his team to get onto it through Ethan Bald. Good little smart handball over the top. Bentley goes back to Bald. Brilliant play going inside forward 50. Not quite taking the mark, falling in front, and Window now moving it by hand. Agnew, little chipping ball over the top, and Dewhurst taking the mark. Plays on quickly to the ruckman. Just stops, props, and tries to find something. Good ball over the top to McAuliffe. 70 from home. So, just chips the ball up, leading his way up at the footy. Couldn't quite take the mark there, Harrison Francis. Agnew, handball over the top through the hands of Francis. Couldn't quite pick the ball up there, Pritchard. Little fist out the back and trying to run his way onto it is Mitchell Dean. Not quite picking it up, so comes out the back of the contest. McRae on the left boot, inside forward 50, over the back, and good mark taken by Craig Pitt just to save the day. 1 point ball game here at Park 9. Long ball up, but McRae sitting underneath this. Takes an intercept mark, been one of their best today. There's a reason he's been named 10 times in the best players. McRae back inside forward 50, trying to have Simons lead up at the footy. Kailotto picking it up loose, just dribbles the ball. Back inside forward 50 once again, comes out the back of the contest. That's going to be high. McDermott caught high. We'll give him a set shot on goal. Nearly played on. Tom McDermott now will have to kick this from about 40 metres or so. Man on the mark stands about 36, 37 metres out. And gives himself a nice long run up. And this one to extend the margin to 7 if he can convert. Crucial stage of the game for both of these sides. On the left boot, McDermott does well and fades it away to the right. So looked online for quite some time, but now just out by 2 points. 57 plays 59 on the Kirin Hayaketsu scoreboard. Sacred Heart out by 2. So Pitt plays on, wants to go right up the guts. So trying to work his way to the footy, couldn't quite get it there. Working his way through, I think that was Francis just crashing straight through. In fact, that wasn't, so did well to wrap him up in a tackle. Gets knocked down, working his way through the contest, did well Jolly to get the handball out, but not going anywhere, wrapped up in a tackle. McRae does get a handball out, but not really going anywhere. Schmidt just works his way through the contest, retreats a few metres just to bomb it on his boot. Through the feet of Kelly, Dewhurst fighting for it. No player able to get any meaningful possession here at the moment as the tackle's been laid. McRae there once again underneath it and quickly tackled there by Slade. The next goal is unbelievably crucial in this contest. Moore comes back through the middle. High ball there, not quite taking the mark. So, little soccering ball at the back. Simons now onto it. Going to go close to the boundary here. Just a dribbling little ball out the back of the contest. Picking it up there underneath was Moroney, but quickly tackled. Did well there, Oliver McInnes, and Cries are holding the ball. Coming from the Prince Alfred contingency here at home. To be fair, he didn't have a real lot of time to get rid of it. Noble knocks it down in front. Quickly getting a handball out, did well. Good little dinky kick inside and did well to take the mark. And they're going to play on quickly. Mitchell Dean over the top. Singleton finds a little bit of room, turns on the Jets. Finds a little bit of space to go inside forward 50. The kick wasn't on point. Agnew did well to duck under the tackle. Kicks it out in front of Window. Now Dean, once again in the contest, back inside, forward 50 over the top, but it's going to go close to the boundary. Bentley still around this one, quickly tackled. And umpire's going to ball it up right deep in the pocket here for Prince Alfred. Bentley. And eventually over, through for a minor score. back to 1 point on the Kieran Iaketsu scoreboard. What a brilliant game this has been. 6th plays 8th on the ladder. The team's still in contention for finals, just sitting percentage out, depending on other results around as well as Agnew clears. Dangerous kick, falling away and taking the mark. Slade taking it. There's been another whistle blown here, so I believe this is going to be 25 metres. It is. And this will put him in near certain goal range. Just wasn't a smart kick there from Agnew out of the defensive goal square. And this is going to give Prince Alfred the chance to take their first lead in some time. They led halfway through the 3rd quarter. But since then they've taken it was the 18-minute mark of the 2nd quarter they last led. So Slade, from about 30, looks okay as it got there, thumps into the goalpost. I reckon we've had about 4 of those here this afternoon, so point-blank range really, but it does level up the scores, 8-11 apiece, 59. And another behind, the 4th of this quarter between these two sides. So to the outer side goes Shock. At the feet, couldn't quite take it. Coe around his body. A little bit of space now to go back in through Dean. Long high ball up. Who can take the mark? Kelly was there underneath it, snapping around his body, but well done there by Shock, just to be in good defensive position to take the mark. So amongst all the chaos of this game, we've got to think about a player of the game as well that's going to take home all the awards. Window trying to barge his way through. Pitt's there amongst it. Comes out the back and Bromley's there. They do now through Dean go inside forward 50. Through Hands out the back. Had a couple goals already in this game, but that's going to go out of bounds on the full. Off the boot of Ethan Bald. So no goals yet in this 4th quarter. This game just sits in the balance. So, eventually fetching the ball back. So I believe this is Hildyard deep in the pocket. Goes long out of the defensive 50. Out the back of the contest off hands of Dewhurst. Picking up the ball was Bromley. Just puts it back though to Hunter Window. They move it off quickly through Moore. Little chipping ball over the top looking for Francis. A little bit of contact off the ball, but maybe just called a 50-50. Kakuro, a little handball over the top. Now Simon's inside, a one-on-one contest here. The debutant has done well here to wrap him up in a tackle. Got Noble stuck and called for holding the ball. Lachlan Moore, what a brilliant story it is for him. Started the season in C7s and now worked his way all the way up to the Div 1 of the Adelaide Footy League. And did an amazing job there in a one-on-one contest. It was dangerous, but it has come back in. Francis sitting underneath this one, couldn't take it down. Rapana ripping his way through, couldn't quite get any clean possession. So 30 metres out here. Kelly thumps a long ball out towards the boundary. Jolly's going to have a little bit of space when he gets this ball. Rapana is closing. Just calmly pops it onto his left boot. Good matchup there between the sevens, just knocking it out towards the boundary line as Rapana's quickly wrapped up in a tackle by Bromley. Tied ball game, 59 apiece. Knocking it down and quickly hacking it out. Going to centre wing, but falling out the back of the contest, taking the mark. So Shock will go back inside forward 50 once again. And Gluyas, in fact, goes laterally and finds Kailotto. So Kailotto has to take up his full allotment of time, send it long inside forward 50. Moore sitting underneath it, couldn't take the mark. And it's going to be tangled up between 3 or 4 players there. Back in this same position, 35 metres out. Knocking it down in front, Coe handballs it off, snapping around his body. Is it going to bend around? No, just through for a minor score. They do take the lead though by 1 point once again, Sacred Heart. So off the boot of Ben Moroney, who's no doubt been one of their best. But still no goal kicked in this one. 13 minutes played. What started out as 4 straight goals for Prince Alfred. They've now kicked 4 goals, 11 since that point. Schmidt through hands underneath the bottom of the contest. These players are now cracking in hard as this game heats up. Both teams knowing how important it is to get the points out the back of the contest. Did well there, Dean, but maybe called for holding the ball. No. Lots of cries of holding the ball here for the Sacred Heart contingency, but Kelly and Lotto in the ruck once again. Knocked down quickly and running his way onto the footy. Did well there. Now just to the outer side, a little bit of a foot race to the ball. One-on-one contest here. And just soccering it out. That will be a free kick. Last possession here. Off the boot and hand the ball back to Ethan Bald. Plays on from the boundary. Goes long down the line. Mark's taken in defence. So they're standing up well in defence here. Sacred Heart. And the ruckman and Noble winning that one-on-one contest. So not really anywhere to go to. Have Coe short, but instead decide to go laterally to Hildyard. Really not got anywhere. They're defending them well here, Prince Alfred. Long ball down the line now, out the back. Could have taken the mark there. Bernardi. And wrapped up their centre wing, so a lot of heat in this one. Kelly snapping it around his body. Couldn't quite get the mark there. Once again, balled in front. Well done there underneath. Trying to rip his way through the contest. And eventually gets it out here, McRae, but they move it on the boot. Pitt takes the mark inside, but then inside forward 50, jumping up at the footy. No one can really get too much clean possession, and once again it's going to be balled up. Lotto and Kelly go at it. Punches it down to Agnew, but quickly wrapped up in a tackle for Joe Howard. Same position. Lotto this time goes a little further. Off the boot of Agnew, Window hunting it down. Has to retreat back. Little handball over the top. Window quickly gets set upon in a Mitch Dean tackle. But a free kick's been paid here. Maybe just collected him a little high. So Window looks to cut right across. That's going to be a dangerous kick, but it is marked, and that may be paid 25. In fact, it's not. So it was a good mark taken by Sanderson. Just sat underneath it, but they now rip their way through the middle of the ground. Tom McDermott, long ball up towards the paint of 50. Comes out the back of the contest. Dewhurst couldn't quite rip it down. Noble snaps around his body. High ball now up. Dangerous position. Francis sitting underneath it. Not quite taking the mark was Pitt. Falls down to ground. They've got the numbers snapping around his body. And it's not quite the kick they wanted. Goes Dewhurst, usually a backman. Not really converting on any score there, so not quite getting what they wanted their shot. Still in front by a point. Hunting a position here in the top 5 of BTR Excavations Div 1, Adelaide Footy League. Prince Alfred fighting to stay out of the relegation zone. Oh, good mark taken over the top by Schmidt. He's shown here today he's got a good set of hands. And as this footy would probably be a little muddy, a little wet, he's shown that he can stay with it. Good mark taken drifting across there by Dewhurst. Makes up for his mistake earlier. Inside forward 50, just chips the ball across. Lotto handballs it off, and look at him go now through the middle, Ben Moroney. Long kick up, Pitt sitting underneath this one. McAuliffe going up against him, and call that a 0-0 draw right near the paint of 50. Still looking for the first goal here of this fourth quarter. Just a contested game as Windows there underneath. A little handball over the top from Lotto. Ball still in dispute, centre wing. A little handball over. Dean couldn't quite get it, fresh airy at it. Chased down by Agnew, eventually gets it now. Hildyard running onto it. Does win his way to the footy though. Underneath, and they'll move the ball out through hand. Hildyard once again moves it out. So McRae, window, works his way through, balks around one. Onto the right foot, has someone out the back in McAuliffe. Brilliant kick. And this is a real opportunity to try and extend. So Will McAuliffe already has one this afternoon. Just the lone multiple goal scorers, Tristan Kakuro with 3. And not 3 of those coming in 5-minute span. It was brilliant work by Hunter Window to pump a ball inside forward 50 and have the composure to be able to find the open player. But Will McAuliffe now, they have the lead. Can he extend it out further? Has the distance covered, no problem at all, and puts it through. They now move out to a 7-point margin. Fairly late in this one as well, 19 minutes gone. 7 points in front. First goal of the quarter. McAuliffe puts it through. 66 plays 59 on the Kieran Haiketsu scoreboard. It has been a hot contest. So back in the middle, the next goal is super important. It goes without saying for Prince Alfred. They just must get it. They must get it in the next 5 minutes or so if they want to give themselves a chance. Kai Lotto picking it up, popping it onto his boot. Rupana working his way onto the footy, and good clean pick up now going inside forward 50. Just pumps it on the boot, gets it in deep. 2-on-2 play here. Francis not able to pick it up. Underneath now diving on the footy. Has to try and get it out. Did sit on top of it, and umpire's going to ball it up right next to the goal square. He did fall on top of the footy. So a goal here would just about put it into doubt. Sacred Heart trying to snap around his body. Smothered there well inside. Little hacking ball out. Did well, Sumner. Underneath, and ball's back here in dispute, not really going too far. And quickly tackled was Moore underneath. So been impressed with the work of Lachlan Moore, the tackler in that situation, number 70 for Prince Alfred, to come in on A-grade debut and do the job he's doing. Dean through hands, quickly wraps up in a tackle. And once again, that's Ethan Moore for Shock sitting underneath it. I have to get it out soon. Kelly trying to knock it down. Maybe dove in the back there. Kicking over the head, not quite going to be on line. Coe sitting underneath it. And did thump in. In fact, it's actually through for a minor score. I thought it come off of the behind post there for a moment, and the umpire is going to have a conversation. I thought it did come off the behind post, but the umpires are going to converse, and in fact, it actually is going to be a throw-in, so the behind is not going to count. I was reasonably confident that did come off of the behind post, so I do have a little 20-second delayed replay in front of me that should give me the fair indication of whether it did or not. And yeah, that's fair. It did absolutely come off of the behind post. So goal umpire maybe just a bit blindsided. Gets hurled in now. Kelly and Pitt trying to work their way through it. Coe's there around the footy, but eventually over the boundary line. So this time going to be hurled back in once again. Really dangerous position here for Prince Alfred. They want to clear it out and keep it out. Kelly just knocks it out the back of the contest. Quickly picking it up with Slade and just pops it around his body. Does clear. Dewhurst with a fist. And neither Dewhurst or Bentley able to get onto it. So, 70 metres around from goal. Can they make it a little further? Kailotto just bumps it down in front. Maroney, I should say, inside forward 50. Gets intercepted, and now Singleton works his way through. He's done this a few times in this game. Look at the foot speed now to go inside forward 50. Out the back, can he find a chest? Can't quite get it there, but they have drawn a contest. That's exactly what they want here, Prince Alfred. the only thing they'll probably accept, and trying to keep it in here. So they quickly hurl it back up. Ruckman to go at it. Bentley not quite. Schmidt picks it up, snaps around his body and through for a goal. Quick response. They get it right down the other end of the ground, get the stoppage they were after. And now back to 1 point on the Kirinaiketsu scoreboard. 65 plays 66. We're now 23 and a half minutes gone. And this game has heated right up. Really, since halfway through the second quarter, it's not really got out too far. They've traded goals for goals. And that's the thing about this game. Sacred Heart have kicked a couple in a row. Prince Alfred have responded. So will the trend continue and Prince Alfred go back down there and give themselves the lead? Kelly in the ruck just gives it a big fist. Hands it off to Singleton. Just through hands. They dribble a little ball up, but not quite getting any distance on it. Pritchard picks it up, sends a ball down. Couldn't quite take the mark. Noble now under the pack, and there's been a free kick paid here to Shock. So Hildyard with a free. So how they play their defence here is incredibly important for Prince Alfred. Good mark. Kai Lotto just left unmanned. Drift across and rip it off the top of the contest. So took all of his time, as you would, long down the line. Schmidt over the top, couldn't quite take the mark. Little dribbling ball out. Not really going anywhere. Rapana there underneath, and umpire now centre wing. Going to ball it up, and there's the final siren. Of course, only 2 goals kicked in this quarter, so 24 minutes, and they get the win by 1 point. A really important win for Shock. They lost by 1 point last week to Glenunga, and a really important finish. But yeah, it was a short quarter. I was almost expecting a couple more minutes, but of course with lack of stoppage time, only 2 goals kicked. Brings it out to a close. So 1 point victory here to Sacred Heart. Chance to talk about some of the goal scorers and contenders here for the player of the game. I'll first go through Prince Alfred's goal scorers. It was a really entertaining contest to watch. It was Schmidt kicking a goal there late with 1, but then it was multiple goal scorers. Hugo Kelly with 2, Scott Bentley with 2, Ethan Bald with 2, James Bentley with 2 as well. And the goal scorers here, I'll start with the single goal scorers. Ed Pedler with 1, Harrison Francis with 1, Moroney with 1, McAuliffe with 1, and Ethan Moore. But it was 5 minutes from Kakuro with 3 goals that I think really proved to be the difference. It just set the momentum up for Shock, and he is going to be the winner of the player of the game. I think, yes, did he have 25 touches? No, but the difference in the game and the reason they got the win was the way that he came out at the start of the second quarter. So that'll see us through to an end. I'll go and present him his awards, and we'll film a little bit of a wrap-up. You can catch that on all the socials as well. But a 1 point win to Sacred Heart Old Collegians. They continue their fight for the finals. My name's Lewis McKenna. I've enjoyed all the action here today. Barnaby on the camera as well. On behalf of all of us and all our sponsors, thank you. Cool.